Leo, you're starting to feel like yourself again. And that's an amazing thing because you bring so much vibrancy and energy to any situation. The month ahead is up and down, and you've got some obstacles that you're going to get through. And when there's more success, there's more responsibility. So we'll have a look at that. Hi, my name is Finn, and this is Magic 7 Tarot. And this is your lunar return reading. So that's when the moon comes back into Leo and hits either your sun, your moon, or your ascendant. And this will be good for the next month or so. All right. Leo, I've already done a Magic 7 spread for you, so I've had a chance to sit with that for a little while. And, there's some challenges here, but overall, it seems like you're finding your groove, which is an amazing feeling. Okay, let's get started, and then we'll pull a few extra cards. Okay, in the past, we have the Six of Scepters reversed. Now, as I've said before, if you watch my channel, I use the Brotherhood of Light Tarot deck and Egyptian Tarot. And so a reversed card does not mean negative. It just means maybe a bit more sluggish to come to expression. Of course, Mercury's been retrograde now for what, 6 months? It feels like it to me some days. So things are sluggish, right? Things are changeable. So in the past, we have, creative activity related to business. So this could be a bunch of different expressions, but mostly it has to do and ambition, right? I mean, the core meaning here is ambition. So you set your sights on a goal, likely related to some kind of creative pursuit, or in every business, every situation, there's creativity. If you're rearranging your house, you're an interior designer. If you're marketing a product, now you're a marketing person, right? If you're merchandising your store, right, that's a creative activity. The world is designed, right? It didn't just come into being. Whenever I talk to, I'm a creative person, as you might have guessed. Whenever I speak to people who are, really hard edge business people, then they don't see the value in creative activity. Say, well, what about that chair you're sitting in? I mean, someone designed that chair. So the same is true for business, right? There's all these different expressions of creativity in business. This could be promoting a business, or promoting a new venture, or promoting, where you want to be. But certainly what's happened here in the past is some kind of ambition, right? It's like you see yourself becoming who you want to be, and you start heading in that direction. This is the Aries decadent of Leo. And so, depending on where your Leo is placed, what degree of Leo your sun, moon, or rising is placed, this might really have a specific meaning for you. I'll remind you, if you don't know your birth chart, go to astro.com. There's a link in my description, a free birth chart. Okay, and you'll get a sense of where your planets are, what degree they are, what house they're in. All of those things are crucial. So uh, this is social activity for business. Like, I mean, if there was a card for social media, this is it. So if you're an Instagram influencer, if you're starting a YouTube channel, this is absolutely the card of that. Okay, so some kind of ambition that you've set for yourself, that has to do with creativity and or the creative side of business, um, or promoting your business. I mean, all of those things: advertising, promotion, self promotion, all that stuff fits. Okay, certainly, let's just call it ambition, right? You had an idea of what you would like to become, and you're moving in that direction. In the present, we have the Queen of Scepters. Okay, now the Queen of Scepters, court cards in Brotherhood of Light either represent a person outside of yourself, or a part of yourself. Now this is the Leo card, so I'm going to interpret that as you. Okay, uh, Queen is usually a female. If it would be reversed, it would be a male, but let's just think of it as a part of yourself. Of course, let's say you have the moon in Leo, that might represent this as well. These two cards together, what it suggests to me is you had a vision, and you became ambitious about what you wanted to achieve. And now you're feeling the full force of your energy, your Leo energy. So, how does that express? Well, in a positive way, Leos. I don't need to tell you, but Leos are gregarious. They have a lot of energy. They're full of life. Uh, on the more difficult side, they can be a bit bossy, bullheaded, right? Stubborn, and not in a Taurian way, more in a vocal kind of get out of my way. Okay, so this card is suggesting to me that you're coming into yourself, coming into being as the person you want to be, or you're feeling that energy today, and that's in the present, not just today. Uh, uh, that's starting to inform you the things that you value most. Now, this also represents children. Could represent children. Could represent the entertainment business. So that whole influencer idea, that's aligned with that, or your YouTube channel, anything where you get your thing out there. Certainly, this is like some kind of self promotion. Um, so you got to be careful of the ego energies, right? Of not taking it personally. Okay. Uh, any venture, especially creative ventures, have lots of dips and hollows, right? Right. I mean, that's not bad. Peaks and dips. That's what I meant to say. Okay. Ventures are by their nature don't go in a straight line, and so don't get your nose out of joint, right? If someone opposes you, or you find yourself in, we want to avoid power struggles at all costs. Okay, stick with the happy, generosity, right? Anything that's a positive about Leo uh, is important to bring forth at this moment. Sorry, I'm getting all these images come to me. So you could get red hot about something. Okay, now red hot, I mean, you have so much energy behind it that you really can't stop, and that's an amazing thing. Or you get red hot like anger, right? um, Frustration, right? So cool it. How can I say this? Is something I might say to my kids, right? Okay, cool it. That's my dad voice there for you. You have so many beautiful things going on here, Leo, that do not get into power struggles. Do not be an egomaniac about it. Cooperate. Okay, this is very positive. Okay, more than anything, it means to me that you're coming into who you want to be, and whenever you're operating out of the center, right, rather than the periphery, you don't have to like, this is like the soft cell, right? So that idea that your presence, your aura, your way of being can be the power here, rather than having to be emphatic about it. Okay, go with the flow. Okay, go with how you're feeling, right? About yourself, I mean. Okay, obviously, the vicissitudes of days, like, stuff happens every day. That's this is that and bad and bad. There's a dog barking, the car's honking, and you know there's always stuff going on. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. But that's not that. This is like deeper than that, right? This is a sort of a self-actualization moment for you. Okay, so bring it forward. There's lots of great energy there. Okay, into the immediate future, we have the Three of Cups. So threes are action cards. Okay, so activity. Okay, and this tends to be of an emotional nature. Obviously, cups are water, and so, but in a positive position, right? Like it's a bringing together of things and realizing them. Okay, it might be an insight about yourself. Okay, a deep emotional insight, right? That leads you to, like, fine tune your vision. That's a great interpretation of this card. Certainly, this card has emotion, and it has like a kind of psychic component to it. So if you're intuitive, or you have big dreams, or those are the things you would watch out for here. On the negative side, I don't see the negative part here, but I want to talk to you about illusion. Okay, so this is a very strong and forthright card, right? It's not apt to be fooled or conned or misled. Okay, but illusion could be present. So just double check with yourself, right? In the future, the immediate future, um, that things are on the up and up. Okay, you might find that, and one can There's rulership here with this card. Leos can take charge of situations, right? So don't be misled. And if you have any inkling about things being not as good as they're being presented, absolutely probe that, okay? You don't take things at face value. There you go. Um, it could also represent love. I mean, Leo, this card is love too, right? I mean, Leo rules the fifth house of romance and children. Okay, and so if this is someone external to you, it could represent some kind of uh, um, love relationship. Okay, with a very powerful person, right? you know, Leo is, as you know, is not a wallflower, right? I mean, they're not shy usually, right? They're kind of forthright about how they feel. Okay. Um, this is emotion. Okay. And I see that as a positive here, right? Sometimes we get stuck too much in our self and you need to feel it through too. So, you know, if this is business activity, like practical, but, promotional, creative side of business, and this is who you really are, how you feel about yourself, right? This is, or how you think about yourself. Let's put that, I rule, right? I rule the situation. But now in the future you're going to have to feel that through. Okay? And please do feel it. Feel your feelings. That's what they're there for, right? Don't think about your feelings. Don't rationalize your feelings. Feel them. Okay? Take some deep breaths. Okay. When I take these three cards together, one of them is, some kind of ambition. One of them is taking charge of that. And the next card is the action and the feelings that come out of that, positive feelings. Okay. I see this all as a positive flow. Okay. There are challenges here. Okay. We're going to get into those. But, if I could take those three cards as the first trinity of this reading, the Magic Sevens Tarot is like a three, and then a last card, right? So seven cards altogether. Um, Past, present, future, looks like you're in the groove. Okay, you're starting to feel who you are, and you're feeling your feelings. You're taking action. The environment is providing something back. It certainly could be romance. Okay, so if you have your sights set on children, okay, maybe it's some happy news ahead. Okay, if you've met someone, who you think, wow, that person's pretty vibrant and vivacious, okay, maybe there's a new romance ahead for you. It's a general reading, so I can't say everything for every person. Okay. And obviously, as an astrologer, I'm going to tell you that these cards are best understood in relation to your birth chart and your major progressions. If you don't know those things, I can give you the impression of the energy. This is the energy, or the, what I say is the emotional weather report. Okay. You can go deeper if you understand how these fit into your birth chart and then also your major progressed aspects. That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. So not everyone's an astrologer. Not everyone's interested. Positive. Stick to your ambition, but don't get too bullheaded about it, right? Feel it. Feel the feelings. Okay. Okay. So now we have some big energy coming in the next four cards. So here's the part that you can control, or you need to control. Arcanum 17, the star. It's a great card. Okay. The words aren't coming. Okay, don't limit yourself. That's not something that you're apt to do, Leo. If I could say, it's kind of the opposite. Okay. But when this card comes up, it suggests that maybe you're going to hold back a little bit. Okay. But don't do that. This is in the upright position. It's in a great position. Uh, it's Gemini energy. If you have any other influences in Gemini, that's a great thing to look at. And also, the ambition you set in the past, this card is saying, don't change. Don't change horses midstream. Okay. Stick to your goal and follow that path. Absolutely. Okay. It's also related to this, and it suggests to distinguish reality from illusion. Okay. when you feel your feelings, when you're in a feeling mode, right? How you feel is a truth. Okay? Not all truth is outside of you, rational, you know, intellectual. There's a deeper truth about how you feel. Both of them are valid. And so this is making sure, that you check anything that seems, if it feels odd to you, dig deeper. Okay? If it seems like it's too good to be true, dig deeper. Okay? But it also represents, I mean, the tension here is that it could be really wonderful too. So don't be doubting something that's wonderful. But if you have an inkling, gee, this feels a bit odd to me, I want you to probe that. Okay? Don't limit yourself. Stick to what you've decided your ambition is and keep going. Keep going. That's the word. There's a lot of great energy there. Okay. The environment. What does the environment provide? Okay, so we have Arcanum 4, reversed. Okay, obstacles. Obstacles. There are obstacles on the way to realizing your ambition. Big insight there from Psychic Finn. Right? Whenever you're doing anything, there's obstacles. Okay? That's just how it is in life. Okay? So, what this is saying, though, is that you can overcome those obstacles. There's the energy present to do that. This card literally means to triumph over obstacles. So, don't be held back because there are obstacles. Go forward. Get through them. Right? Resolve them. Um, it could also represent some kind of realization of of your path, okay, but also um, realization in the sense of making something happen, like when you realize something into the world. Okay, very positive. A bit sluggish. Okay, everything is a bit sluggish right now, but this energy is going to take a bit of effort to actualize, and so it represents experience and it represents confidence. So through experience, you gain confidence. Okay, so whatever you are ambitious about in the past, doing it is how you get good at it. Okay, right? If you set a goal for yourself and you say, "Well, this is what I want to achieve," or "This is what I want to," this is how I see myself. This is how I see myself. Okay, in a sense, this is the kind of like, this is the vision and this is the emotional checklist, right? To make sure it resonates for you all the way. Okay? Very positive, if not a bit, you know, sluggish. Okay. What opposes you? What opposes you is the 10 of coins reversed. So tens are Uranus and represent some kind of change. Okay? And so this card is really related to this because this could be a change of point of view, changing your point of view, perspective. But because it's in the opposing position, remember we said I said to, stick with your goal here, right? Stick with it. This is sort of saying, as things get challenging, you might vacillate a bit. Okay. So stick with it is the thing you have to control. And this is the thing that opposes you, which is like, changing your point of view. Uh, it suggests also that new things are hard. Okay, if it's something new, it's going to be difficult, and difficult things, try your patience. So it's easy to think like, oh, I can't do this, I got to give up. No, no, no. That's the exact opposite thing that you should do. Got to stick with this path. Okay. It could represent some kind of like sudden trip too, if you had to, you know, go on a business trip, or you had to. It's sudden and it's trip. It could be any reason. Okay, it doesn't. I don't have the reason here because I don't know where Uranus falls in your chart. Okay, but if you do, you could start to say, oh, some kind of change of view of that area of my life. Um, it also cautions to be focused and not scattered. So it could represent some kind of undirected energy here. Okay. Okay. So all of that to be said, now that brings us to the final card, which is Arcanum 15, which is the Black Magician. Woo, spooky. Okay. Let's not be scared of this. It's in the upright position. And what it says to me is responsibility. Okay. This is the Saturn card. Uh, it suggests like you got to overcome your pride. Okay. Pride. Remember? Okay. It's one thing to be generous and gregarious and voluptuous and all of these things, right? Leo can get a bit full of themselves. Okay. So modesty, right? You need to be modest, right? You need to balance things, right? You need to balance your ambition with your how you feel about it, right? Um, and more than anything, this is like love over hate. Okay, so the more that you can love and balance your ambition with other pursuits, with your emotional life, uh, the more you can avoid pride and selfishness and instead embrace warmth and generosity. Those all will play into making this card. Listen, responsibility comes with success. Okay? You don't become successful and not gain also a whole bunch of responsibility. That's just how it is. Okay? So um, it really comes down to the present. How are you going to handle this Leo energy? Warmth, generosity, okay? Not selfishness or pride. Any of those things are going to work against you. You know, it's exciting for me, this reading, Leo, because it seems to me you're on the right track. Like you've set a vision for yourself and you found that vision, and now you're going to be tested. Whenever you decide, like really decide, I mean, we have thoughts all day long, okay? When you really make a decision, the universe has a way of saying, "Are you sure?" And that's what this kind of feels like to me. It's like you've set a vision for yourself, and now the universe is saying, "Are you sure? Are you sure that's what you want? Let's let's test you a bit." So you may feel tested, and that's okay. That's part of the journey, right? Okay, let's pull in a couple other cards and try to clarify it and give you some inspiration. So these are I'll pull an archetype card from the Wild Unknown archetype deck. Beautiful, round, hard to shuffle cards. So, Spirit, what archetype can Leo drop in this month as a way to help them on their journey? I desire to know the truth. What's best for Leo? What's best for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising this month? What archetype can they use to help them further their journey? I desire to know the truth. What's best for them, the world, and the universe? I desire to know the truth. Do it one more time. I always shuffle and cut 3 times. Just my process. That's how it works. Everybody has their way of doing it, and that is my way. Desire to know the truth for Leo. Leo, if this is resonating for you, please let me know in a comment. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the subscriptions. Of course, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe and get a notification when something new is happening. Uh, I'm about 6 weeks now into this channel. It's going really well, and I'm having a great time doing it. You know, I think of it as me being generous, right? Like the way I can give something back, and you know, whenever you're being generous, you're always repaid. And that's how I feel. So thanks for all the support I've had. I really appreciate it. Okay, what did we get? The crone. Okay. The female wisdom energy, right? Okay. That's a great card. I mean, they're always so beautiful that it's startling to me. Okay, let's read what the crone says. The crone has seen it all. I love that. Nothing frightens or surprises her. She is the final manifestation of in the feminine trifecta of maiden, mother, crone. In her long life, she's witnessed endless cycles of death, sex, failure, rebirth, conflict, and regeneration, giving her the ability to rise above the world of duality. She laughs at notions of good or bad, right or wrong, right? I mean, you have to take, right? This is it tends to be a negative card, but if you think of it just as responsibility and you handle the responsibility, you gain experience and confidence from handling that. I always There's no good or bad. There's just different ways of looking at it or handling it. She laughs at notions of good or bad, right or wrong, as she has seen the earth churning, smoldering, taking life and giving life. The crone energy accepts everything in, devouring beauty and suffering with the same mouth, using their energy to reveal hidden secrets and knowledge. Her energy resides in all of us. Though it is feared by most for its power and unconventional relationship with death uh, and the macabre. Awakening the crone is dangerously rich and unapologetically magic. I love that. Magic, clairvoyant, psychic, intuitive, wise, wisdom, right? When you know who you are, right? And when you know with your mind and you feel it through, okay? Now we're marrying the two sides into a wise path, right? I love that. The crone, could be also related to this energy, this Saturn energy, right? Hmm. Sorry, more images coming. Uh, Leo, you have such great energy here. It's important to not become negative, okay? Right? See it as two sides. You can have a negative thought and then think, well, put it in perspective. That's what I'm going to try to say. I want you to find some balance between the things that are difficult and the things that flow easily, the things you think about and the things you feel, right? Balance, okay? Don't give up, okay? More than anything, don't give up. Okay, you had a vision about where you want to go, and this is saying don't give up, and this is saying you're going to be tempted to give up, or change your path, or mitigate your dreams. Okay, that's the worst thing you could do in this situation. Keep going. Okay, Leo. We're going to do one more card, Sacred Destiny Oracle card. Eternal Spirit, what inspiration can we give to Leo on this journey that they are going on this month? How can we help them with a bit of inspiration? Desire to know the truth. What is best for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, the world and the universe that they inhabit? A desire to know the truth for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month ahead. One more. Must get boring watching me shuffle, but it's how it has to be. I'm sorry. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What inspiration can we offer Leo this month? I desire to know the truth. Perfect. Potential. Leo, you have an idea of what you want to achieve, okay? And you're bringing both sides of your character together. You're going to be tempted to abandon, what you see when it gets difficult. But have some courage because, this is all about experience, and experience leads to mastery, right? You're this realization that you're in charge. You're driving the car here, okay? And success means responsibility. They go together, okay? I mean, if I just saw this card alone, I would be more cautious. But because it's part of this continuum, it seems to me that it's just saying to you to balance, 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 right? Pride, emotion, right? Sticking with it with feelings of giving up, okay? All the way along, obstacles that can be overcome, okay? And, you know, uh, when you have this card and you're able to manage fear, right? Because, I mean, if you're on a journey, and you think, wow, maybe I should change my mind. I mean, that's kind of like a little bit of fear. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of my own success. I'm afraid of what's going to happen. Okay? Don't be afraid. Potential is all there. Okay, I'm going to read potential to you because I want to just see if sometimes there's, I mean, we can take the word as it, as the things that are unrealized yet, right? It's all there curled up, ready to unfold. And that's kind of how it feels to me right now. But let me read it to you because there's always a few gems in the descriptions. Okay, this card appears when you're ready to activate your potential and step into your strength. Strength. Literally, the Leo rules that card. Okay. This is the time to activate those gifts that you've had on the back burner in your life. You have incredible untapped potential. This is the time to allow it to flow. An inner wellspring of power is emerging. Power. You have a profound spiritual power. This is spiritual energy and psychic energy. It's deep within you. The depths, right? The depth of the crown. Do not doubt your great authority and capabilities. A dormant volcano might indicate that you have uncomfortable emotions that you're repressing or keeping inside. Don't do that. Feel them. That's what feelings are for, to be felt. Okay? Thus creating emotional stress and inner pressure. I don't see the stress, but it does say you've got to experience those emotions as part of this journey. It can also mean that you're on the verge of a great expansion of energy and life force. All right, Leo. I wish you so much love on this journey because to me, this is about coming into being yourself. Okay? Feel your feelings and stick with your vision. Okay? Don't get thrown off course. I love you, Leo. I'll see you in a couple weeks and we'll check in. Peace.